But Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to another episode of Illegal Ham to the Face. As we dive in tonight to college football national championship, also the coaching carousel keeps spinning round and round, with the exception of one person who got off the merry-go-round. We will also talk Fat Boy Tuesday. We're talking subs tonight. It is my turn for trivia tonight. Bri, be prepared. We're going to do some college football trivia tonight. You hit me one with last week. I got you another one on this week. And then we're going to do our top three tonight, our Cinderella stories, college football Cinderella stories, because there was a beautiful one last night with the beautiful state of Indiana, which we'll get in here a little bit. Go give us that like and subscribe and give us a click there. And also, you could join in on the comments live. Always have them up here. We already got two in. It's probably going to be James and Justin. There is James. There is. Oh, my Lord. There's my sister. All right, so she's in here. No, it looks like we just stuck it out with Kevin. Yeah, well, a lot of people are. Yeah, it's getting kind of crazy out there on the coaching search. So, all right, everybody, thank you for joining us. Bri, my friend, how are you doing?
Like I told you earlier, I'm living the dream. Other than the bitter cold, which is kind of what we're used to this time of year in Cleveland. 2026 is off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, well, hey, bud, bitter cold does not mean school cancellations. That is past.
Oh, no? Kids still had to go in?
No, like they closed school yesterday afternoon.
Oh, yeah, right.
They were already off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and then we got the text at like 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the afternoon saying they're closing for the next day. So, Brian, it is past bitter cold. It is, as we like to say at work, it's colder than a witch's, if you know the phrase, you know what it is. So, let's see here. Jocelyn, oh, yes, it does. Oh, here we go. Slosh Sports Talk. Grant Udinsky coming to Cleveland. And Justin just So, they're all here tonight. We're all joined in. We're having a great time, bud. Brian, do you got any shout-outs tonight? Anything you want to get off your chest before we start the show?
No, not really. Other than last weekend, it was my family does it this time every year, is the cabin weekend down in Hocking Hills. So we had a blast down there. Ate way too much, drank way too much, had a lot of fun. I was only down there for, I think, 24 hours, but thank goodness nowadays they have better reception, better cell service. So we were able to watch a lot of the football games this weekend. So it just kind of made my day, just laying around, taking naps whenever you want, having a cold beer whenever you want, eating lots of food, and watching football. So I was in my element. It was pretty awesome.
Awesome. Did somebody bring their special ping pong paddle?
I believe so. I did play. Him and I played a couple games together. And I think he even asked me, "Oh, did you bring the paddle?" And I'm like, "No, I'll just use whatever they got." So he probably carried us, but I held my own for, nowadays I'm down to playing ping pong once a year. So as long as I can stay afloat, I feel like I'm not hurting the team too much.
Justin said, well, I didn't win the money line, but I did bet on Mendoza scoring a touchdown, about $25 profit.
Okay. I like that.
Matt from Splash Sports said there's no such thing as drinking too much. And Justin said, shout out to the end of the SEC dominance, 3 Big Ten natties in a row.
2 undefeated
I know, right?
national champs. Pretty good.
All right, we'll get into Indiana and their wonderful run that they had. But, Bri, it is my turn for trivia tonight, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. If you can adopt a city dog, especially on a cold day like today, give them a nice warm
yeah.
home to go to. Please adopt a city dog from City Dogs Cleveland. If you cannot adopt, volunteer, donate, do whatever you can to help out a city dog from City Dogs Cleveland. They take cash, they take food, they take peanut butter, they take everything. So please go help them out at City Dogs Cleveland. Brian, let me play the trivia sounder. We will bump back with some college football trivia. You better buckle Buttercup. It's going to be a fun one. My trivia to you, brought to you by Justin. How long before Northwestern wins a national championship?
Oh, wouldn't that be sweet? Minnesota, Northwestern. A lot of not great teams, but that's what Indiana was 2 years ago.
Right.
I think I saw they won one conference game 2 or 3 years ago.
Maryland, Rutgers, Purdue.
Oh,
Yeah.
Purdue. I forget about Purdue. Yeah.
Everybody forgets about Purdue. All right, Brian. So the great trivia I have for you tonight is, Brian, this is the first time in a while that this has happened. First time in a while that the Heisman Trophy winner has won a national championship. First off, can you tell me the last Heisman Trophy winner that just won that year also went on to win the national championship? Can you tell me what year?
Last time a Heisman winner won the national title, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had a similar, and maybe we'll get to it next week. I had a similar trivia for you, but there was one more layer to it. So I'll build up next week. But yeah, I don't think it's the correct answer. So I'll have to think about it. Okay, I got a name.
Why do you think it's not the correct answer?
So, well, I guess to give you the what I saw, it was on the broadcast last night. So if you were watching it, you probably saw it.
I was busy. Yeah.
It was the Heisman winner to win the national championship and get picked number 1 overall. So there's a very elite select group. Okay. That'll be yours for next week. Okay. I think I have an answer. And we'll see if I can think of one more recently, because this was within the last decade.
Yes, yeah, I know which one you're talking about now because he's on this list too.
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like I said, I gotta think if there's somebody more recent than this guy. So there might be.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. I think I know which guy you're talking about, though. Are you talking about a certain quarterback in Cincinnati?
No, I think there's somebody more recent than him.
No, really? Oh, do tell.
Is that maybe I thought of one that you didn't think of.
Oh no, it's on the list. I have the list. I was talking about your question.
Just to clarify, you said a player that has won the Heisman Trophy and the national championship, correct?
In the same year.
In the same year. Yep. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
I think we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
And Justin,
I don't think it's happened in the last. Well, Ohio State was last year. Michigan was the year before that. So scratch out those 2 years. Mm-hmm. So I got 2 years that I got to think if the guy who won the Heisman won the national title.
And
I'll stew on
it. Troy Smith. Troy Smith did not win a national championship with your Ohio State Buckeyes, even though he was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Oh, right. Has to win.
Yeah, he's got to win the national championship, Brian.
I got you.
All right, let's get into that game, Brian. Now, I only got to watch bits and pieces of it because I was at one of our sponsors' events, which is Lake Erie APA. We have our Lake Erie APA Cash Cup going on right now. So I was there playing pool later, but I tried to dabble in the best as I could to watch what it was. I heard there was a lot of flags that should have been thrown that were not thrown. The officials actually letting them play out. I do know that I didn't get to see Michael Irvin sit there and take his belt off like a 60-year-old man and spank a water cooler. That was kind of a bonus. So I mean, Bri, you gotta fill me in here. I know Indiana won. Indiana looked like they were the better team all around. But how did the game go down? And by the way, how did our number 6 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft, Carson Beck, look?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't watch the whole thing either. Putting it on a Monday night, working in the morning, starting it at 7:30. So it was slow moving early on in the first half, and so I think maybe only 3 points were scored in the first quarter, and so your boy fell asleep on his recliner.
That happened.
And woke up about halftime, and then went upstairs. Tried to fall asleep, couldn't fall asleep, so I put it back on, and I kind of saw a little bit in the fourth quarter, and then at that point I was like, all right, because I had early morning this morning, so I said, all right, I'm just going to record the rest of the game. I'll finish watching it in the morning. So that's kind of what I did. Now it's difficult. I hate doing that because you always seem to be at social media or a picture on Sports Center, when you go on your TV and it'll say, oh, you can watch Sports Center. And then there's like a picture of the winning team or the winning player. You're like, okay, that gave it away who wins. So like you have to really be thorough in trying to avoid everything. And, updates, I get updates on my phone that, come across the notifications that kind of tell you. So you really have to be cognizant of avoiding all that. So I kind of did that, and I watched the last maybe 8 minutes of the game this morning. So it was like I said, a slow start, but then I feel like the fourth quarter really got rocking and rolling, and Mendoza was making play after play when they absolutely had to have it. I don't think his stats look great on paper, but whenever third down, fourth down, I'm sure you saw the fourth down play where he needed 5 and he ended up scoring a touchdown with his legs, like just all effort. And so, I feel like it was a great ending. Then Miami getting the ball, forcing the field goal at the end of the game, and holding it to within 6, and then getting the ball back, and a touchdown wins the national title. And they had 2 minutes to do it, and Beck's kind of moving them down the field, got a roughing the passer, and then a big play, maybe a big run. So they're moving the ball down the field, and they got it to within the 30 or 40 yard line, and then Beck, just for whatever reason, just chucked one up there, and it ended up being in double coverage, and it got picked off. And I kind of saw similar traits with Caleb Williams in that game. Hopefully you watched the game on Sunday with the Bears and the Rams. I don't know, Tom Brady won 7 championships checking the ball down. But like Caleb Williams, Carson Beck, that are like even Josh Allen a little bit in the game on Saturday, like they're chucking it downfield when they don't really have to, and it's just a matter of time before a ball gets tipped or a ball goes off a guy's hands or a ball gets picked off, and then it's end of the game. And so that was similar takeaways between those 3 games or those 2 games and then last night's game. Just yeah, Carson Beck just has to be more disciplined there and just keep moving the chains, keep moving the ball down the field. I know eventually you have to take your strike, but yeah, I feel like he went for the gusto a little too much and it bit him in the butt.
So he does sound like a Cleveland Brown quarterback. So we should draft him at 6.
Well, Shador
I'm just-
Sanders for sure. I feel like Shador has similar traits to where sometimes you just got to take what the defense gives you, and as long as you keep moving the ball, then that's okay. And you have to pick and choose your shots.
Yeah. Brian, what did you? So from what I heard and from what I've been hearing, like Indiana just played. How can I explain it? They kind of played smart football. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't do anything super extravagant, and they just kept it right in front of them. They didn't try to do too much. I mean, is that what you got out of this game?
That's what Indiana's been doing all year. Like they don't turn the ball over. They don't get penalized. They're just a very smart, mature football team. And then they have a quarterback that can make the plays on third downs to keep the drives going. And they have a pretty good running game, pretty good line of scrimmage, offensive and defensive, and then a pretty good defense. And so I feel like they're a pretty good all-around team. But yeah, they're not the 2019 LSU Tigers.
No.
They're not this high-flying team, even though they put up tons of points against Oregon and Alabama. But yeah, they handle their business. They're not going to beat themselves, and you're just going to have a better effort, and you're going to have to make plays in crunch time, which a lot of college age kids have trouble doing.
Well, and here is the next question I get to prepare to you, Bri. Indiana won the national championship. It's hard for me to say, but Indiana Hoosiers won the college football national championship. Now, I do have to ask, they're trendsetters now. How many smaller schools with that can shell out some money for NIL will maybe try to take a swing sometimes at these bigger schools and do what Indiana did?
Yeah, I hope it happens. I think it's great for college football. Even being a Michigan fan, you get sick of seeing the same teams at the top every single year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's awesome. I think I don't foresee this being a trend to where next year Vanderbilt's going to win one, and then UCLA might win one in 3 or 4 years. No, it's still going to be the Blue Bloods, but maybe once a decade, maybe twice a decade, you might have teams like this that just everything comes together. But really, it was a total team effort, and on top of that, you needed one of the best. What we found out over the last 5-6 months, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and also one of the best coaches in the country. So I don't think that's going to start happening at too many places. But yeah, it was fun to watch. I was kind of pulling for them the whole time. And yeah, like I said, I think it's great for college football and gets me excited about college football again, rather than just seeing the same teams all the time being in the Final Four.
Well, I mean, think about it. This year's Final Four, you had, besides Oregon, they were all new teams. I mean, Ole Miss, Miami, Indiana, and then Oregon's been there before. So, I mean, if you start thinking about this will, I hope the parity has changed in college football. The transfer portal has changed everything. The NIL money has changed everything. So, like, even Ole Miss, going into the, I wouldn't say transfer portal, but getting a, junior college, not even a junior college, Division II, quarterback that's won national championships, bringing him up. So everybody's kind of dabbling into it. And Brian, I'm excited to see where college football goes from here. I really am, because I like the parity in it now. I like that there's, yes, now Indiana had a special year. They went 16-0. I don't think anymore there's going to be a team that will go undefeated and win again. I think that it's too hard to do to run a gauntlet like that, and especially if you get into the playoffs, to do the gauntlet and go completely undefeated. I'm not saying that somebody can't do it. I'm just saying it's a lot harder now for a team to do it, especially with a lot of teams getting these big games at the beginning of the year, like Ohio State did with Texas. You know, people are kind of playing out a conference a little bit different. But Brian, so Justin brought it up. I got it started here. You know, obviously Mendoza played to the point where he's probably going to be the slam dunk number 1 pick in the NFL draft. I don't think, unless something major happens, that, you know, he is not. But Justin brought up the question, you know, would you be okay with trading up and drafting Mendoza, you know, as a Cleveland Brown? I would say yes, but I don't think anybody's going to trade. You know, I don't think, was it Las Vegas has got the pick, number 1 pick? Who's got the number 1 pick?
Yes. Yep.
So
Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah. So Vegas, I don't think they are trading off of that pick. I mean, you can offer them everything as I mean, Christ, I would throw in Jimmy Haslam too, and just be like, hey, you know, you get 2 owners, have it, you know. But I think Vegas is going to be steadfast, and they're not trading off that number 1 pick, Brian. It's kind of up to them. Now, the number 2 pick would be in question because we did find out that the Oregon quarterback is going back to Oregon. So he's going back to Oregon. So the quarterbacks are kind of gone, you know, unless there's somebody that kind of sneaks up the board. It sounds like you might have maybe 2 quarterbacks in the first round this year, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, similar to last year. You have the number 1 overall pick that the team is not trading. Now, I would say the Raiders are even less likely to trade the number 1 pick this year than the Titans were last year. And so, yeah, Mendoza's, even though he hasn't put up the eye-popping numbers that Joe Burrow has, like, he's reaching Joe Burrow status to where, yeah, there's one team that gets a shot at him unless you're going to trade first-round picks for the next 5 to 7 years, which we know is just impossible. Yeah, they're Raiders aren't going to trade it to anybody.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's what I kind of figured too. Bry, I do have to say, I got to give Miami kudos. They did play all the way down to the last bit of it. Everybody left their heart out. I mean, it was a national championship. It wasn't a blowout. It was a good game, and I'm glad it was a good game.
Yeah. I mean, 2 very evenly matched teams. I think Indiana's the better team, but man, Miami just has some studs that find a way to get it done. And Carson Beck is, you know, not quite as polished of a quarterback as Mendoza, but when he's feeling it, he can put some decent drives together. And so, yeah, that's why I anticipated it wasn't going to be a blowout. Like, you know, the playoffs, Indiana's just been routing everybody. And so I didn't really think that was going to be the case. So I was excited to see a close, entertaining game. It just stinks that it, you know, must-see TV was at 11 o'clock at night on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I feel like, you know, you should start it earlier. You know, it should be like, what do you say, 6 o'clock start time? Maybe 3 p.m. on the West Coast.
Yeah, you have to consider the West Coast a little bit, but again, it was Martin Luther King Day, so majority of the country was off yesterday.
That is true.
And so, yeah, why not start it? I don't know about. Yeah, I would say. What'd you say? 6 o'clock? Yeah, maybe 6:30 or so. I mean, that's when the Super Bowl is. 6:30, right? So start it then.
Yeah, not 8 o'clock at night for us.
Yeah, right. Well, and the funny thing was, everywhere I was looking, it said 7:30. I'm like, there's no way they start this game at 7:30, and I think it started very close to 8 o'clock.
Well, they had to go through all their pregame stuff, of course. They got to get
I'm
their
sure,
money somehow.
of course.
Yeah, you got to take care of the money. All right, Brian. Also, this weekend, buddy, we had some NFL thrillers and we had an NFL blunder. Right now you got the Broncos versus the Patriots in the conference championships, and you got LA Rams and Seattle. Now, Brian, I do feel bad for Denver. Bo Nix broke his ankle in overtime, so Jarrett Stidham is getting his first start, and I believe it is 3 years against the Patriots defense, but they do have home field advantage, so thank God for that. But, Brian, all the games were really great games this week, with the exception of Seattle and San Francisco. Once again, I feel bad for Josh Allen. What a great – I still think that was a completed pass and not an interception, but, a lot of people kind of agree with that too, so we'll see what it is. But, Brian, Sean McDermott got fired after the game. So there's another job opening, another head coach on the coaching carousel. Brian, what did you think of NFL playoffs this weekend? I did reach out to James. I wanted to give James and I texted during the 49ers game. And I told James, I'm like, I'll tell you what, for the season that the San Francisco 49ers had, with pretty much their entire defense and their stars on defense decimated, George Kittle goes out with an Achilles. People just hurt everywhere. To make the effort to make it to the playoffs and then, to get there and try to do their best against a dominant defense in Seattle, I do have to give the 49ers credit. They shouldn't even have been close to being in the playoffs with as many people as they've had injured, especially their stars on defense with Bosa and Warner. So I got to give San Fran a little credit. So, Brian, what do you think?
Wow, it was unbelievable. The Bills-Broncos game was incredible, and then to be topped maybe possibly by the Bears and the Rams, even though it was kind of a sloppy game and not very entertaining for 3.5 quarters. Then at the end there, it was just must-see TV. So, yeah, again, to reiterate what we were kind of saying with college football, to have like the fresh blood in the Final Four has just been incredible. It's something it's one thing we love about sports is when you have like these, if you want to call them Cinderella stories, that nobody could have predicted. I mean, just imagine going back to the start of the year, how many people predicted the Broncos? Maybe. The Patriots, probably not. They were what 3-14 last year, and then or 4-13, and then 14-3 this year. Those kind of turnarounds are unheard of, and now they're the favorite to get to the Super Bowl. And the Bears to kind of come out of nowhere and just be these cardiac kids like we've seen from the Browns in the 80s. Just yeah, so much fun to watch, so entertaining. Just can't say enough great things about if you're just a football fan and a fan of the NFL. It was just so much fun to watch these games again for this weekend, and hopefully sets up some great games for this coming weekend. And just unbelievable, the teams that are playing in it, the quarterbacks that are playing in it. But once in a while you get years like this, and typically it happens on one side. One conference will have a Cinderella story, but pretty rarely does it happen on both sides, to where just teams that nobody had picked are making it this far. And the Rams, I feel like, are the one team that maybe you might have had in your top 5 potentially at the start of the year, but they were no slam dunk. Everyone's talking the Bills, everyone's talking the Ravens, everyone's talking the Chiefs, and Eagles and the Lions and maybe the Bengals. Like those were the teams that everyone's, consensus top 5, I would say, at the beginning of the year, and we don't have one of them. And it's just, it's awesome.
Well, and the other thing that kind of, I love the new teams coming in. Like you said, it's not the Bills, it's not the, Chiefs and all that stuff. But man, the one thing that I do kind of get sick of is it's the Patriots again, Bri. Like we get a break from them for a little bit, and then the Patriots are right back. And just here, Jose's here. How about his Bears? They look great until fingernail polish.
Shout out!
Decided to throw it out.
Shout out, Jose. That was incredible. One of the craziest plays I think I've ever seen from Caleb Williams there. Like he did, like it was like a Hail Mary from what was it, like the 15-yard line or something, or 10-yard line they were on, and it was a Hail Mary because he took the snap and he just ran 20 yards backwards. I'm like, you moron! You have to be the dumbest quarterback on any level that I've ever seen. And then he just heaves it up there, and it's a completed catch. Like, just unbelievable.
Kind of like
that's all I have to. I'm speechless. What? No, greater than Eli Manning. What was Eli Manning? Oh, the Manningham catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he, like, Eli was just fending out. It was an incredible one-man effort, and then he basically threw just a prayer up, and somehow it was caught. Like Caleb Williams did everything wrong, and then he made an incredible pass, but 9 times out of 10 that's still probably tipped off or tipped away, if not intercepted. Probably intercepted most times. When he threw it, the guy wasn't open when he threw it, and just miraculously, and it wasn't even a push off when he watched the replay. The guy just, was out of position or had his weight leaning on one leg, or maybe just lost his footing in that terrible weather. I can't explain it. Like, just nothing about that play makes sense.
Well, Brian, with everything now, we're whittled down to 4 teams. This is what I said. Brian, Jose, I hope everything is going great for you over in Chicago, my friend. I really do. I hope you're well. Miss you. So I hope everything's going well. Brian, with that being said, we got the 4 teams. Who do you think is coming out and playing in the Super Bowl, bud? You get a 50-50 shot now.
Yeah, and well, to start with the NFC, it's, I believe, truly a 50-50 shot.
Yes.
I would probably, your head tells you to pick the Rams. They're a more talented team. They have more experienced coach. But how do you pick against Seattle right now? Like, nothing that they're doing is really spectacular. There's nothing that they do that you can count on week in and week out. But their defense is better than what most people think. The running game, I don't know who it's going to be, which running back it's going to be, but they seem to just find a way to get it done. And then Sam Darnold just kind of does enough. It seems like they're usually playing with a 2-touchdown lead, or their kicker's going 6 for 6 on field goals. Like, they just somehow, some way, they find a way to get these wins, and sometimes it's not even close, and they just pull them out in the end. And again, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I would guess back against the wall, I pick Seattle. And then, the Knicks injury, the Stidham playing, it's going to be hard to pick the Broncos. So I will go Patriots there.
Yeah, Patriots defense has been playing outstanding, and boy, Vrabel's got them going.
If you watch the game against the Texans, they didn't even really play that well. It's just like they got lots of turnovers, and Houston's offense couldn't really do much.
Brian, that's on the defense. The defense gets the turnovers.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was 4 interceptions thrown by C.J. Stroud. I mean, I understand that it might not have
in
been
the first half, was it?
Yeah. I mean, at that point in time. But, man, I'm telling you what, the one storyline that I am super looking forward to in the Seahawks and the Rams game. Actually, it's two. First off, Sam Darnold. That storyline, getting bumped out by a hack has-been from Michigan, who can't even stay healthy.
Oh, I didn't even I could have taken a shot at CJ Stroud and how terrible he is, a bottom
he was
5 quarterback. I tried to stay above it, but okay.
Just like Deshaun Watson was at Houston Texans. All right, but
Deshaun Watson was a bottom 5 quarterback
for the first
Texans?
4 years he was there.
No, you misremember that.
I misremember a lot of things, bro.
He wasn't as bad as CJ Stroud has been this playoffs. I tell you that much.
I do not misremember.
Nobody's giving up 3 first-round picks for that.
Right, I do not misremember. Somebody taking the Vikings to the playoffs while somebody else is hurt, and then they don't want to pay that man, and decide to go with the rookie that was hurt again. So I kind of, but also, all right, we're off that one. Yeah. But the one I am actually looking forward to, Bri, who was the leading wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks in their game?
I would say Smith and Jigba would be the easy answer because he's the number one. But the fact that you're asking it, I'll say Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is back, baby.
Was it? Your boy.
Talking about really? 5 receptions for 60 yards. He was the leading receiver. Let's see here. And Jigba only had 3 receptions for 19.
I think he scored a touchdown, right?
He did score a touchdown, but I mean, it was mostly Kenneth Walker. They couldn't stop the.
Yeah.
He's.
I don't understand. He's so good. Like, I think he's a top 10 running back, and they refuse to use him more than giving him the ball 10 times a game. As someone who's had him in fantasy, it's very frustrating. Like, I think that I remember going back to college at Michigan State. I remember he torched Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He basically single-handedly led them to a win over Michigan, and they couldn't stop him. And then he gets to Seattle, and I just feel like they underuse him, or they just want to have a split backfield, and until it matters, apparently, because he torched them.
Well, and the other thing is they always love doing it when they get inside like the 15-yard line. They take him out and put Charbonnet in.
Right.
But there's no more Charbonnet.
Hold-on guy. Oh, did he get hurt? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he got hurt. I don't know if he's going to play this game or not, but that's why Kenneth Walker got pretty much the bulk of everything, because Charbonnet got hurt. But, Brian, I'm excited to see Cooper Kupp.
That makes sense.
Play against LA Rams, his old team that decided he was too old to play wide receiver next to Puka Nacua.
Oh, that's right.
I would love to see him win the MVP for the NFC championship game, just to throw it right back in LA Rams' face. But I'm a spiteful person like that, Bri. That's the kind of person I am.
That would be a fun storyline for sure.
All right, so obviously we think both Seattle and both going for New England, right? So we got a New England Seattle Super Bowl is what we're predicting.
That would be my guess, but like I said, I think the Seattle Rams game's a coin flip game, and certainly I trust Matthew Stafford much more than Sam Darnold if it comes down to the wire and you need a quarterback to make a play. And then I don't think the Broncos have a 0% chance. I think their defense is still really good. They're going to be at home. The defense is going to have to know that they pretty much have to be perfect. And then, it's not like the Patriots have been gangbusters on offense this playoffs. Their defense has really carried them, and Drake May has looked human. And so, I give them a puncher's chance. You just need a couple plays from Stidham. Yeah,
and let's see what happens. I mean, it's going to be a good. Is it Saturday night and Sunday night, or the games?
No, I believe it's similar to last Sunday, to where first game starts at 3, and then
6:30.
The second one's at 6:30. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, there it is, right there. Yep, 3:00 CBS 6:30 Fox.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, Brian, we do have to get into, and I get to bump the headlines for this, even though Chris isn't here, but we are going to talk a little bit of Cleveland. Here we go. All right, Bri. Like I said, every week for us, buddy, every time that we come on or get ready to come on, there is breaking news for the Cleveland Browns coaching carousel. And Bri, we got some today. Oh my God, Mike McDaniel pulled his name out of the running for the Cleveland Browns head job after his interview.
You can confirm, huh?
Bri, I wonder why he pulled his name out of the hat. Maybe it could have been the PowerPoint that Kyle Shanahan tried to show Jimmy Haslam and everybody else in Cleveland. But no. Right. We can't even get coaches.
So do we know, did he pull his name out before his interview or after?
After his interview.
So that counts as the Rooney Rule interview then.
Yeah, but
because he is a minority. No, he's a minority. I don't know. Respectfully, I don't know what kind of minority, but he's considered a minority. So if he interviewed, then that counts as one. So we just need to do one more.
Okay. Hold on. Are you
so
sure
I guess that's good that he. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that. What I don't know is if he's interviewed yet. So if you're telling me he's interviewed already, then
yeah, he's not interviewed.
If he is interviewed, but in person, did he interview today?
I don't know when he interviewed. Search latest goes.
He was supposed to.
Head coaching
he was supposed to interview today, in person. So that's why I don't know if he pulled his name out before or after that.
Well, maybe he wants to go for the Bills job like everybody else is doing.
Gosh, there's no chance the Bills hire him. No chance. They'd be fools. I don't know who they're going to get. They probably shouldn't have fired McDermott. But they're just looking for a change, anything to spark. Look at the roster. You got Josh Allen. You got James Cook has turned into a pretty good running back, and then they got some pieces on defense, but that's about it. Look who he's throwing the ball to.
Okay, so here, according to Cleveland.com, McDaniel was slated to get a second interview with Cleveland before withdrawing his name from consideration. So he did interview.
So he did not. Did not. That's what I would take for that. He was slated to. So he was supposed to. For a second. Yeah, the first one doesn't count. It's got to be in person.
I understand that, but he already interviewed one time for the job. He was slated for a second interview. So he was already interviewed for the job. So the first interview was a Zoom interview. That doesn't count. It has to be in person, which is a second interview. I believe know that it was not in person.
Yeah, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody out there knows any better, but from what I understand, all first interviews are the Zoom interviews. And then if you bring them back for a second interview, that would be in person. So that's the one that really counts.
But
so from what I read from what you just read, Schwartz did two. Has done two, hasn't he? Or is he set to do two?
I think, Brian, the only interviews that are via Zoom are the people that are still in the playoffs that you're interviewing. So Mike McDaniel, I believe, was in the bid. So like they're wanting to interview Jesse Minter, the defensive coach or whatever. Not Jesse Minter. Seattle's. So since he's still in the playoffs, it is a Zoom interview. He cannot do a full interview until they're out of the playoffs. But with Mike McDaniel being out completely, he came in person for the interview and was slated for a second interview and dropped out of the race.
Okay. Well, we'll find out over the next 24 hours. I'm sure we'll
Hey,
find
don't
out
worry,
whether
Brian. Don't worry.
he has done a in person.
Don't worry. This will be clipped, and then we'll be called Cletus and Fetus all over again, and they'll let us know because
No,
everybody else knows better
one
than us.
one of us is bound to be right because we differ in our opinions. You think he's already done an in-person interview, and I think he is not. So one of us is going to be right. So it's either Cletus or Fetus.
Brian, let's just be honest. Most of the time, it's a little fatty fail. So I mean,
Oh, is that?
yeah.
No, and the only reason it really matters is because we have to abide by this Rooney Rule, and so now I guess maybe they have updated it to now you have to interview 2 minority candidates in person, and so McDaniels was slated to be one, and then the Shield House was supposed to be the other, which he can't interview in person until next week because his team is in the playoffs. So even
Yes.
if they win, they'll have 2 weeks off before the Super Bowl. So he'll be able to travel around more and do these in-person interviews. So that's why you hear a lot of people saying don't expect an announcement of who our head coach is this week. Most likely, hopefully mid to late next week. So another long waiting game for the Browns. Even if they like a guy, you got to wait until you check all the boxes there.
Bry, another future bet that I am going to do with some former Cleveland Brown head coaches. Brian, I'm going to put the Atlanta Falcons to make the NFC Championship game. Not only did they get Kevin Stefanski, also Bill Callahan is now joining the Atlanta Falcons.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Hey, Bry,
that one hurts more than Kevin Stefanski.
Bry, this shows you, and it should show everybody else, how much of a beep, beep clown show Cleveland is. I don't know how to
we know whose side Bill Callahan's taken.
And he probably should have. I mean, hey, Bry, has our run game gotten better without Bill Callahan? Negative, Ghost Rider. Has our offensive line
worse
gotten better without Bill Callahan? Negative, Ghost Rider. He was the running game coordinator and the offensive line coach. And ever since he left, it has been downhill for your Cleveland Browns run game.
Shoot, I'd have named him the head coach if that's what it took to keep him, or offensive coordinator or something. Yeah, I Stefanski going to the Falcons. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes a lot.
They got
of
a lot of good pieces there. Right, they play in a terrible division. They got a lot of good players, a lot of talent. But then, yeah, hearing that Callahan was going there, I'm like, all right, I guess I know who I'm taking number 1 overall in fantasy football next year. Bijan Robinson is going to go to a next level.
And hey, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know the effect that that Bill Callahan has on the passing game. I would assume if your offensive line is one of the best in the league, that means your passing game is going to be pretty good too. Your quarterback will have time to throw. But yeah, I don't have the numbers to back that up.
Are you sure? Because I got the numbers. Brian, who was our leading wide receiver this year for the Cleveland Browns? Oh, wait. It was a tight end.
Well, who was our wide receiver when Callahan was here?
Oh, my God. There's so many of them. So many of them.
Odell Beckham.
Well, let's see. Odell Beckham, Amari Cooper. So I'll give you Amari Cooper. But wasn't I don't know. We had...
Yeah, I guess we did have Amari.
So don't you think that the run game also got David Njoku his huge contract that he got from Cleveland? Wasn't Bill Callahan part of that?
Honestly, I can't. I would think so. Uh, to be honest, the guy who got David Njoku's giant contract was Joe Flacco. He's never looked better than average. The only time he's ever looked better than average was for the Flacco 6-game stretch. But I guess he got the contract before that. So kudos to Andrew Berry for giving an average tight end $15 million a year. Great signing.
Now, Brian, I do have to bring it up because everybody else is talking about it. McDermott to the Browns.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would take it. If you're asking me if I would take it, it's a no-brainer. Do I think he would want to come to the Browns? Unlikely. I don't. He should go to the Steelers or the Ravens. I don't think he will, though. I probably would think he might go to the Raiders. And even though as daunting of a task it is to play in that division with Mahomes and now Knicks and Herbert, that's one of the best, probably the best division in the AFC. But yeah, just to have a young quarterback and assets like Brady and Las Vegas to pull in free agents, I would think that would be a pretty good job for them, even though they're a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that one. Like a lot of AFC coaches will switch over to the NFC. So it's like we've already seen it. Harbaugh went to, the Giants, Stefanski went to the Falcons. I mean, I wonder if they're kicking themselves in the dick right now for taking the job so early, knowing that you've got a franchise quarterback in Josh Allen and what's going on in Buffalo. But, it is what it is. Their loss. Brian,
I don't know. Who would they get? Who would Buffalo get? Like, I can't even think. Like, any
somebody brought
the Ravens
up to
should
me,
go hard after McDermott. Go ahead.
Somebody brought up to me like Joe Brady getting the promotion there for the offense.
Yeah,
and being
unproven guy. I think they need a guy who's ready to win right now. That's why you get rid of McDermott, because you need a guy to win. Yeah, a guy like Mike Tomlin. If they can pry him away from Pittsburgh, I would think that would be, because Tomlin just doesn't have a quarterback. Now he would.
Dare I say, and I hate to say this, and nobody will probably back me up on this because I got some grief on this. I bet you Jim Schwartz gets an interview with Buffalo.
Yeah. He probably should, but so much of what Buffalo does is Josh Allen. And so if there's a way that you could get Jim Schwartz to come and fix your defense, and then keep Joe Brady around, I can see that. That wouldn't be too bad.
Now, I did get some grief right now. We had go ahead.
I was going to ask if you still feel the same way about the Browns hire as you did last week, with Schwartz being your personal favorite. I do, and I got a lot of grief over that, Brian. I really did, and a lot of people brought up his time in Detroit. A lot of people brought up but Brian, I do have to say, that was his first head coaching job was Detroit Lions, correct? Right. Person only.
And that was his first and only. So that was his first head coaching job. A lot of these guys retread. Okay. Now, also, Bri, that was, I'm going to use some coarse language. That was fucking 20 years ago, Bri. 20 years ago when he was a head coach. Like, think about that. He has not sniffed a head coach. Plus, he had some personal problems and some other things. He stepped away from the game. He came back. He is more vigorous. He is 59 years old. He's going to be 60 years old. He's not, NFL terms, he's not like but everybody wants this 30-year-old coach. And Brian, like you and I talked last week, I just want a coach to hold somebody accountable. Like, that's all I want. I don't want a coach in here. I want some coach. Like I said, I tried to give Kevin Stefanski his balls back for Christmas. and it didn't happen. Like, Brian, I just want somebody to come in here with some vigor and just take over this team and be like, we are the Cleveland Browns. We have been horrible for this long. It stops now. And I think Jim Schwartz can be
to
that
me,
guy.
I do as well. To me, it really does matter where you play and what division you play in. Like, I don't think Sean McVay, if he goes to the Steelers, he's going to be like as great and as successful as he is with the with Los Angeles and La La Land. Like, you need somebody to just instill this grit and this toughness in your team, because you're going to have to play in sub-zero temperatures in Pittsburgh and Baltimore and even Cincinnati if you want to win the division. I know Cleveland for now, but a couple years that'll change. But again, I'm scared. Andrew Berry, I'm thankful that well, shoot. Now I see this. There's a beef between Baker and Stefanski. Have you seen this yet?
Oh, of course, there's a beef.
I'm sure you'll hear all about it.
Right,
I'm sure you'll hear all about it tomorrow.
There was a beef.
I won't get into it. Baker.
There was a beef when they were here.
Well, it's now, yeah, but it's now public on Twitter and stuff. So,
Oh, crazy.
yeah, you'll hear all about it tomorrow. We don't have time to get into it now because it's
No,
just
we do not.
slap hands, hand slapping. So I think you need a football guy in this climate, in this division. And what scares the crap out of me is Andrew Berry. When did he get hired as the GM? 33, 34 years old. He was quote unquote boy genius, and he's going to bring in a boy genius like Sean McVay, like who's the guy, and Ben Johnson in Chicago, and Liam Cohen. Like, these guys have had success, but like I said a couple years ago, they had quarterbacks with a ton of talent, and you just have to fix the quarterback and the team will follow. We don't have that. So, and it's not going to be this year. It's not going to be next year. And I think one thing that that is kind of good, but is kind of in the back of your mind, kind of a disappointment, is I think the Browns defense is so good, they won't allow you to tank. Like, the Browns defense, unless Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward like have season-ending injuries, they're so good, they're going to get you. Like, what did they get? How many wins did the Browns defense get us this year? Basically on their own. Like, Green Bay, the
All
Steelers, the Bengals. Like, yeah. Like, what other games? The Raiders. I know we blew them out. Same with the Dolphins. We blew those teams out, but the defense essentially would have won the game. We could have won the game 10-6.
It was all of
Yeah.
them.
So the defense is so good, they're going to get you wins. They're not going to allow you to have a 1 or a 2 win season to where you can get an Arch Manning or that's one good silver lining. And I know I'm all over the place now with Dante Moore going back to school, because that's just one more quarterback for next year's draft. Because it's not going to happen this year. For next year's draft, where hopefully it's not a 1 quarterback draft, it's not a 2 quarterback draft. It's a draft like we saw a couple years ago, where there's 5 quarterbacks drafted in the top 15. And so that's what we're going to need, to be picking 8 to 10, and to have the 4th best quarterback, who's still a first-round quarterback, fall to us at 8 or 10, and we can select him there and hope that he can kind of become our voters. That's how I see us crawling out of this hole. Unless, God forbid, somehow, some way, Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson wakes up and figures out how to play NFL football sometime this season, which isn't likely. So that's how the Browns are going to claw out of this. Is we're going to have a pick somewhere between 6 and 12 and just hope that there's enough good quarterbacks in that year's draft to where we can get a quarterback and build around him.
All right, so Brian, all that stuff's coming about Baker. We'll get into that next week. And
Yeah, it's not really important. It's just funny.
I do have a topic I written down, and you and I will talk about it after the show that we're going to get into next week. Because I think as Browns fans, I really think you and I need to get into it. And it's not Brian, it's just an honest conversation with each other. That's all it is. It's not like a big fight. Like, oh my God, Fatty and Brian are going back and forth at each other, cussing at each other. It's not it's an honest conversation because that's what we do here on Illegal Ham to the Face. But Brian, the next honest question we got to talk about tonight, Brian, we said it last week. We started talking about it. It's time for Fat Boy Tuesday. It's time to talk some subs and some sub sandwiches, my friend. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
And now, it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
All right, Brian, it is time for Fat Boy Tuesday, and we said it last week, and we're going to talk some sub sandwiches tonight. And the reason why we brought up the topic is because some fat guy went to Jimmy John's, got a sub. And by the way, Brian, after we talked subs, I went to another sub place and got a sub. So, Brian, let's talk some subs tonight. I know you're still a huge fan of Blimpie.
Yeah. If they're still around, if I saw one, I would drive maybe an hour to get a Blimpie.
Now, would you consider, and I'm going to ask this so that we can get into our topic here in a second, would you consider Mr. Hero sub style?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, they do some other things, but yeah, I would consider them. Yeah, they're fringe, but I would have no problem if you said it was a sub shop.
All right, so here in Cleveland, we have all the classic sub play. I mean, we got Jimmy John's, we got Jersey Mike's, you got Subway. We do have a DeBella's. We got Dave's Cosmic Subs, which are here. Firehouse Subs, which are here. Penn Station. Oh my God, what am I forgetting? There's so many more that I'm forgetting. So many more that I'm forgetting.
I forgot a lot of those.
So, Bri, some of these places, like if you're passing a sub place and the names are up there, you get your choice. And, money is not involved. I know that some places are a little bit more expensive than other ones. What is your number one sub place that you're going to right out of the gate?
Yeah, number one is DeBella's. Which we'll have to get into this another time. I was in the neck of the woods where DeBella's used to be, up near Pinecrest, whatever is that, Beechwood? Do we call that?
Yeah, it's not on Harvard.
Not there anymore. No. Guess what's there? Well, I don't think it is. In my mind, where it used to be, now there's a Dave's Hot Chicken, which you need to check out. Dave's Hot Chicken is legit. So we can get into that some other time. But DeBella's, there's one in Strongsville, off of 82 by the mall there. Other than that, I don't know where they're at. You might have to search them out. But yes, definitely worth the drive. Worth, if you do it a couple times a year, they are expensive for a sub, but if you do them a couple times a year, pretty good. But then also, what I find myself doing maybe more because it's for convenience, but also because they're not bad, is going to like a Get-Go and getting the sub the way you like it that way. So I'm not opposed to that. I feel like if you tallied up all the subs I've eaten over the last couple of years, Get-Go might be in the lead, just because I like the fact that they're all over the place, and and you sit there on the little computer touch screen and you make it exactly how you want it.
Now, Sheets has subs too, correct?
Sheets does have subs. I would say not quite as good as Get-Go.
Okay. All right. So the one and it's Warrensville Heights is open, Bryce. So the one in Warrensville Heights.
Oh, it is. Okay. So
there's one in
good. All right.
Solon,
I'm glad to hear.
and this is DeBella subs that we're talking about. So there's one in Warrensville Heights, there's one in Solon, there is one in Strongsville, and then there is one in Independence. So there's 4 places. And Bri, you and I have had DeBellas for, oh my God. We've had DeBellas for years at the job, and we found this place. I'm telling you, like, for me, if I get my choice of all the sub places, it's seriously, it's DeBellas. I can't. I mean, I know you love the Chicken Philly.
Good.
They have the Chicken Philly. They have the Godfather sub. They have, meatball. They have anything and everything you want. But man, and Bri, for me, when it comes to the sub, it's all about the bread. All about the bread with the sub.
Right.
And I'm not going to do like the whole meat to bread ratio with you again. But it's all about the bread. And I tell you what, DeBella's bread is on point. I love DeBella's bread.
If you have, so I have in my mind a go-to sub. If you have a generic, you go into a sub place, you've never been there before, you're going to get your number one. What is it?
Brian, hands down, if I have to get a sub from it, it's got to be the original Italian. The pepperoni, the salami,
I agree.
the ham. It has to be the original Italian. And if they screw that up, now, if they don't have the original Italian, Brian, I'm going club sub. The turkey, the ham, the bacon. What about you? Do you got a second one?
You probably usually something with chicken.
Okay, so you're like the chicken
Philly, buffalo chicken, chicken bacon ranch, something like that.
So you're not the deli meat kind of sub?
Not really, just the Italian, really. I could do if they had if I'm really in the mood for like an Italian and I get in there and they don't have it, I could do like a ham and cheese. I feel like that's pretty standard to where every single sub shop should have that with a little mustard on it.
Lie, there's one we're not really talking about a lot here, and we've had it multiple times. Firehouse subs.
Yeah. I don't know how popular they are. Like, I don't see them around a whole lot. Like, definitely, if you see one, you should go in and try it.
Especially with their hot sauce flights.
I feel like Penn Station and Firehouse subs are pretty similar. Like, if you like one, you're probably going to like the other. You should try the other. But, yeah, for whatever reason, I don't affiliate them with like the other Jersey Mike's, Jimmy John's, and maybe just I feel like they're a step above, maybe a little bit better.
All right, now, Brian, I love Jersey Mike's. I do. I think Jersey Mike's, between the bread, the way they do it right in front of you, everything else, I love Jersey Mike's. The only thing I hate about Jersey Mike's is the price. I mean,
sure. Right.
Like, and of course we're fat
ridiculous.
guys, so you gotta get the GART, but that, you get the big sub, it's like $22. And it's like,
Now, I agree. It reminds me of Blimpie. Just I like the way they, slicing it right in front of you. And then I'm a big fan of the oil and the vinegar. I think it's better than any other topping that you can put on a sub. So give me maybe a little more vinegar than oil and some lettuce, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, you're talking that good olive oil with the red wine vinegar, a little sprinkle, and maybe a little salt and pepper sprinkle on top of it too.
Sure.
All right, Brian, if you had to rank your 5 go-to sub places, and then we'll go over to our top 3 in our trivia after this, and let us know in the comments. Like Chris said here, Jersey Mike's is for me. I don't care for Jimmy John's. Honestly, that's everybody's preference. Like Bri, I like Jimmy John's because I like their bread, that French bread that they have at Jimmy John's.
Mm-hmm.
You got that nice bite to it. To each their own. I get it. Like, Bri, if I had to choose, Penn Station will be up there for me too. So, Bri, how would you rank your sub places? Obviously, DeBella is number one. We already established that for us personally. But how would you rank the other four?
Bell's number one. I would put Jersey Mike's number two. Then I would go probably Penn Station 3, Firehouse 4, and I'm going to put Get Go in at number 5.
Okay. So for me, number 2, Bri, I'm going to go Jimmy John's for number 2. Number 3 for me is Jersey Mike's. Number 4 for me is Penn Station. And then number 5 for me, Bri, has got to be Firehouse subs.
Sure.
I don't get Firehouse that often. And everybody, there's nothing wrong with a Subway sub. Every now and then you get a little Subway sub. I mean, but Bri, I miss the $5 footlongs like everybody else does, especially for the month of February, which is coming up.
Do they do that still?
No, God, no. They stopped that. Hey,
okay.
I think we broke them. Actually, the Subway that we used to love so much, Bri, has closed down because I think we broke them.
Sure. I to be honest, I haven't had Subway in probably 5 years. Like, I remember I went there. There was a Subway in like a Walmart that I was at like a year ago, and I looked up at the prices, and for whatever reason, I think my mind was still on $5 footlongs, and I look up and was it a BMT?
Yeah.
Italian BMT was like $11 or $12, and I'm like, forget that. I'm going to pay that much. I'll just get Jersey Mike's.
Well, especially when they used to have like $7 ones. You know, you got specials on certain days. Now, Brian, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
After we talked about subs, I did get the Subway on the way home. I got the meatball with pepperoni, with jalapenos and some of the creamy sriracha, a little spice to it. So I did go that way. After we talked subs. Oh yeah, I just. Like most of the time, okay, we'll get into Subway later. We're making this more longer than what we need to make. But in the comments,
I know I'm running low on battery here.
No, we're good. We're going to go straight to the top 3, and then we are going to do our trivia, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. So let's do our top 3, and then we're closing it out. Because Indiana did the unthinkable, Brian, we are doing our top 3 college football Cinderella stories. Now, it could be a team, it could be a player, it could be a coach. So you can kind of choose what your Cinderella story is. And Brian, I will go first, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. You can do however you want to. Brian, for me personally, growing up an Ohio State fan, the 2002 national championship was a Cinderella story with that team. Craig Krenzel, especially as the quarterback, blew my mind. Brian, the next one that comes to mind has got to be LSU and the run with Joe Burrow. Now, granted, Joe Burrow was a great quarterback, but the run they had, Brian, is probably one of the best college football runs I think you'll ever see. And how much they dominated that. And now I know that's technically not a Cinderella story, but I just think that run was just epic. And Bri, my last one, and God, I hate to say this because I fucking hate Florida. The back-to-back, Tim Tebow, the Florida Gators. Or no.
Last one, I think.
Tim Tebow with the Florida Gators, had the chance at 2-time Heisman. That team was just, I don't know how to explain it. But yes, Ohio State 2002 was number one for me, Brian, because guess what? Nobody, and I mean nobody, gave them a chance. Nobody.
I think you're You mean to tell me there was a time nobody gave Ohio State a chance?
Brian, against that team, which was an all-elite team from Miami, that everybody said that they would blow the doors off of
You're
Ohio
saying
State.
just for that game. I
Yeah.
thought you were saying like at the beginning of the season, nobody gave him a chance.
Well, not a chance to go for the national championship. If you look at that, you had Craig Krenzel, who was a 6-year quarterback. How many games did they get lucky and win? I mean, just think about that. Purdue.
They were undefeated, weren't they?
They
The
were
Purdue
undefeated.
game was the one that sticks out in your mind.
Oh,
Fourth
yeah.
and one and chucking it deep.
But all of them were like that. So, Brian, give me your top three college football Cinderella stories.
So I went all players.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give Ohio State some love here. And it's an honorable mention. It's Troy Smith. Just to go from where he went, what did he get, like the last scholarship that they offered? And I remember Justin Zwick is like this prize quarterback, and he was supposed to be the savior. And then Troy Smith was the guy who ends up winning the Heisman. So I'll give Troy Smith some love there. And then I got some recency bias for my top three because I have number 3, Trinidad Chambliss. You talked about him earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
He was a backup last year. At the start of the year in 2024, he was a backup at a D2 school, which, is just maybe top 300 quarterback. And then for him to rise up, and he became the quarterback one when the starter got hurt, took them to a national championship and whatever it was, D2 or 1AA or whatever, and then to go to Ole Miss and take them as far as he did, and right on the cusp of a national championship game. Just unbelievable, and hopefully we remember his story. And then number 2, also Ohio State ties Joe Burrow. Ohio State said he wasn't good enough, and then he goes down and he turns into one of the best seasons a quarterback has ever had. And then number 1, I'm going to say Mendoza, because 2-star recruit, couldn't even be a walk-on at Miami, makes his way up, goes to Cal and then Indiana, and then becomes one of the best college football players in the last 10, 20 years, probably.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great list, bud.
So,
I went teams, you went players.
I'm running low.
All right, so
let's get to trivia.
Trivia brought to you by City Dogs.
Yep, go ahead.
Hi, I asked you the last person to win the Heisman Trophy and the national championship in the same year.
My guess is 2020 Devontae Smith.
Yes, he was a wide receiver at Alabama. Joe Burrow, 2019. Then it goes back to Derrick Henry. Then it goes back to a Browns quarterback, Jameis Schmamis.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Bri, 2010. If you can get this one, I'll high five you right now.
2010. Well, I got 2% left, so hopefully I get in before 2010. You said Heisman to win the national title. I'm going to say Sam Bradford.
Cam Newton.
Auburn. No, not 2010.
2010, Cam Newton. Yes, it was.
He was drafted. Okay. Maybe was he drafted in 2011 then? Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, you just you blew up my question for you next week. You basically named all the guys there.
I'm sorry.
I'll come up with a new one though. It was a similar question. So it was guys to win the national championship and Heisman and number 1 overall pick, and it was probably Mendoza, Burrow, Jameis, and Cam Newton.
Okay.
And
Well,
then a couple guys from like
too.
the 40s or something like that.
All right. Well, you're just went sideways, so you are out. I love you, brother. God bless you. God bless everyone. We want to thank you guys so much for watching Legal Ham to the Face. Please give us that like and subscribe on all of our socials at Ham Legal. Also at Network 216, where you can get your Ohio sports content year round. As I do believe there is a Guards cast coming up soon with a special guest. So please stay tuned to at Network _216. All right. We are definitely uncorked, unloaded. We will see you guys next week. Have a great night. See you guys next Tuesday. Have a good one.